Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So I was told that we are reading verse number 32. We are in the last three verses of this chapter. I thought I'll just take verse today as much as we can, not go into a full section. यथा हि अवहितो वहनेर दारुष्व एक स्वयोनिषु नानैव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान् यथा हि अवहितो वह्निर् यथा हि अवहितो वाणीर् दारुष्व एकस्वयोनिषु दारुष्व एकस्वयोनिषु नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान् भूतेषु च तथा पुमान् यथा हि अवहितो वह्निर् दारुष्व एकस्वयोनिषु नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान् यथा हि अवहितो वह्निर् दारुष्व एकस्वयोनिषु नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु तथा पुमान् योनिषु नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान्
यथा हि अवहितो वह्निर्
राजेष्वेकस्वयोनिषु
नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा
भूतेषु च तथा पुमान् यथा हि अवहितो वह्निर् दारुष्वेकस्वयोनिषु नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान् यथा हि अवहितो वह्निर् दारुष्वेकस्वयोनिषु नानेव भाति विश्वात्मा भूतेषु च तथा पुमान्. Okay, translation. The Lord as super soul pervades all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one without a second. Purport. Translation purport by His Divine Grace. Purport. Lord Vasudev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by one of his plenary parts, expands himself all over the material world. Vasudev, we are referring to Krishna. The son of Vasudev is Vasudev. And his existence can be perceived even within the atomic energy. Matter, antimatter, proton, neutron, etc. All are all different effects of Paramatma feature of the Lord. As from wood, fire can be manifested, or as butter can be churned out of milk, so also the presence of Lord as Paramatma can be felt by the process of legitimate hearing and chanting of the transcendental subjects, which are especially treated in the Vedic literatures like the Upanishads and Vedanta. Srimad Bhagavatam is the bona fide explanation of these Vedic literatures. The Lord can be realized through the oral reception of the transcendental message. And that is the only way to experience the transcendental subject. As fire is kindled from wood by another tree, the divine consciousness of man can similarly be kindled by another divine. His divine grace, the spiritual master, can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood like living entity by imparting proper spiritual messages injected through the receptive ear. I will read it again. His divine grace, the spiritual master, can kindle the spiritual fire from the wood like living entity by imparting proper spiritual messages injected through the receptive ear. Therefore, one is required to approach the proper spiritual master with respective ears only, and thus the divine experience and thus the divine existence is gradually realized. The difference between animality and humanity lies in this process only. What process? Receptive hearing. A human being can hear properly, whereas an animal cannot. Here they're not talking about sound and other alert notifications and alarms that the nature gives. Your hearing is referred to as spiritual subject matter, which is given by a spiritual master. So if we invite cats, dogs, lion, tiger, elephant, and you all together sitting in the same class, to them they cannot hear what I'm speaking, okay? Or what we are speaking to each other. Spiritual subject matter will not make any difference. But to humans in this human form of life, the distinctive factor is that we can hear spiritual subject matter. Okay. Okay, so we go to the next verse, last two verses, so we'll cover that also. Ashav, verse number 33, while I show on the screen. Please keep your phones on silent. Thank you. Ashav Gunamair Bhaver Bhuta Shukshmendriyatmabhi Swanirma Swanirmiteshu Swanirmiteshu Nirvishto Bhumte Bhuteshu Tadgunan असौगुणमयीर्भावे भूता सूक्ष्मेन्द्रियात्मभिः स्वनिर्मितेषु निर्वित्सो भुङ्क्ते भूतेषु तद्गुणान्. So, translation: the super soul enters into the bodies of the created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes by the subtle mind. Purport: there are 84 lakh species of living beings, beginning from highest intellectual being Brahma down to insignificant ant, and all of them are enjoying the material world according to the desires of the subtle mind and the gross body. Whose subtle mind and gross body? Our living entities. हाँ, वो तो subtle है. I mean, so like whose I'm talking about, whose mind, intelligence, and ego? Whose? Lord's or ours? Living entities. All the living entities, not just humans. All living entities. That's why it's mentioned over here. All 84 lakh species of life, right from Brahma to the insignificant ant. So the Lord as Paramatma helps. See, the Lord is very helpful. Okay, I missed the line. The gross material body is based on the conditions of the subtle mind, and the senses are created according to the desire of the living being. So I have a desire to enjoy, accordingly, I get a body, and the senses are also created so that it facilitates my enjoyment. Okay, the Lord as Paramatma helps the living being to get material happiness because the living being is helpless in all respects in obtaining what he desires. See, even here also, if you want to materially enjoy, you have to be dependent on the Lord. We cannot do it ourselves. You know, like you would want to say climb Mount Everest. You need to have a fit body to climb Mount Everest. You know? So that is a material requirement. Have a materially fit body. Then you can, or sometimes you also need to be financially well off because it's a huge expenditure to go on the Mount Everest. पता है नहीं आपको बहुत खर्चा होता है लोगों को जाने के लिए heavy gear खरीदना पड़ता है बहुत कुछ होता है उसमें so that also is a material opulence that needs to be there otherwise how will you spend money so that assistance is also provided by the Lord so even to enjoy materially you need help of the Supreme Lord he proposes and the Lord disposes he means us we propose we have a list of things when we come to temple also we have a list of things proposals in another sense the living beings are part and parcels of the Lord they are therefore one with the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita the living being is all in all varieties of bodies have been claimed by the Lord as his sons this is in chapter number where he says that I am in all he's saying in other sense the living beings are part and parcels of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living beings in all varieties of bodies have been claimed by the Lord as his sons. 9.70. Also, in the chapter number 10, he mentions the opulences. So he says that amongst this, I am this. Yeah, yeah. So the sufferings and enjoyment of the sons are indirectly the suffering and enjoyments of the father. Some we may think that okay, the Lord is enjoying only, we are suffering. No, but the Lord is our Father, Supreme Father, and when He sees us suffering, He also is distressed. He's also concerned, like the way our Father is. Suppose we see in news sometimes somebody has done an accident, and the child also goes through the, you know, all the legal things and the police and everything, and the father is also in distress because of that. Whether it is a father of a superstar, son of a superstar, or if it's a businessman, anyone, everybody has to go through this. So we've seen this. The sufferings and enjoyments of the son are indirectly the sufferings and enjoyments of the father. Still, the father is not in any way affected directly by the suffering and enjoyment of the sons. Right? He's not affected. He is so kind that he constantly remains with the living being as Paramatma and always tries to convert the living being towards the real happiness. We'll discuss this. A lot of things to discuss in this. Come to verse number 34. भाव भावती एष सत्वेन भावती एष सत्वेन लोकान् वै लोकभावना लीलावन्तारा नुरातो लीला लीलावतारो लीलावतारो नोरातो देवात्रिया नरादिषु देवात्रिया नरादिषु. Translation: Thus the Lord of the universe maintains all planets inhabited by demigods, men, and lower animals, assuming the roles of incarnations. He performs pastimes to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. There are innumerable universes, and each and every universe there are innumerable planets inhabited by different grades of living entities in different modes of nature. The Lord Vishnu incarnates himself in each and every one of them, and in each and every type of living society. He manifests his transcendental pastimes amongst them just to create the desire to go back to. So in the Dasha Avatar Shotram, we see that the Lord incarnates in different forms. He comes as Meena Avatar, Kurma Avatar, Matsya Avatar, Vara Avatar, Vamana Avatar, Narasimha Avatar, Ram Avatar, you know, Buddha Avatar, Kalki Avatar. So he incarnates in different avatars. Okay. The Lord does not change his original transcendental position, but he appears to be differently manifested according to particular time, circumstance, and society. Sometimes he incarnates himself or empowers a suitable living being to act for him. But in either case, the purpose is the same. The Lord wants a suffering living being to go back home, back to world. The happiness which the living beings are hankering for is not to be found within any corner of the innumerable universes and material planets. The happiness which the living beings are hankering for is not to be found within India, अंधेरी, Jew, ऐसा नहीं लिखा है. It is not mentioned like that. इसमें क्या लिखा है? It is not to be found within any corner of innumerable universes and material planets. So we may think that चलो कोई बात नहीं, मैं पाप सॉरी पुण्य करके स्वर्ग लोक जाऊंगा, इंद्र लोक जाऊंगा, ब्रह्म लोक जाऊंगा, ये सारे स्वर्गीय प्लैनेट्स है, वहां जाके और एंजॉय करूंगा. But they also come within the material planets. So the happiness that we are looking for is not going to be found even in the heavenly planets, because they are part of the material world. We have to go beyond that to get the real happiness. The eternal happiness which the living being wants is obtainable in the kingdom of God. Kingdom of God is Vrindavan, Golok Vrindavan, or Vaikunta. But the forgetful living beings under the influence of material modes have no information of the kingdom of God. Have no information. Forgetful, uh, yeah. But the forgetful living beings under the influence of material modes have no information of kingdom of God. Absolutely no information. How many of you know? How many of you knew about Vaikunta before coming to ISKCON program? Or you knew about? You all know Vaikunta because you all are Maharashtrians, and you all know Vaikunta just because of Tukaram Maharaj. But what is there in Vaikunta? Or how many of you knew Golok Vrindavan before coming to ISKCON? हम जाते हैं हम जाते हैं देहू में, और वहाँ पे तुकाराम महाराज वो एक स्थान है जहाँ पे द प्लेन केम टू टेक हिम टू वैकुंठा. वो कथा सुनते हो पता है हाँ वैकुंठा है, बट व्हाट बियॉन्ड दैट यू डोंट नो एनीथिंग. You don't know anything beyond that. So this is because we are so materially engrossed, and because of which ignorance is created. We don't know about the Lord's planet. We don't know about Lord's abode, Lord's Dham. Dham means his residence. We don't know about his residence, where he resides. You know. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. You know? Tad Dhama, matlab, one who goes to my residence doesn't come back. Paramam Mama. Tad Dhama, Dhama. He's referring to his residence. So the Lord therefore comes to but the forgetful living beings and the influence of material modes have no information of the kingdom of God. Okay. The Lord therefore comes to propagate the message of kingdom of God either personally as an incarnation or through his bona fide representatives as the good son of God. Such incarnations or the sons of God are not making propaganda for going back to God only within the human society. Their work is going on in all types of societies, amongst demigods and those other than human beings. So it is we just don't have to think that this is happening only in human society. Even in for demigods, this is there, and even for other living beings, it is applicable. That is why the Lord comes in different forms. He comes in Kurma avatar to inspire that category of people or living entities. He comes in Matsya. He comes in Meena Sharira to attract. मीना मतलब पूरा aquatics cover कर लिया उसमें. Hence, it is just not meant for human beings. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport for the first canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Divinity and the Divine Service. So, yes, these are wonderful sections where it mentions that how the Lord pervades everything and enters. The Supreme Personality of God, Krishna, is residing along with the living entity. The Lord is also residing in the heart. Okay, like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridyeshu Arjuna Tishtati. Hridyeshu. In the Hridya, I am residing, and he's residing in everybody's heart. And but we, individual souls, we know about our Kshetra, Kshetragna. Suna hai? Chapter number 13. Kshetra and Kshetragna. Right? That we speak about that we know our field of activities, but we don't know about the field of activities of others. But the Lord is the one who knows about us as well as others. That is what makes him the supreme Lord. Like I know about my finger, my hand, my head, my leg, my stomach, my hair. That is knowing means gnana. Gnana means one who knows things. Okay, Kshetra means field. Kshetragna means to know water. So I know, you know about your body, I know about my body, and therefore we are Kshetragnas. Okay. Uh, Kshetragna means the one who knows the knower of the field of his or her activities. So everyone has a certain type of field of activities according to the desires that one develops. Yathamam prapadyante tam sateva bhajamyaham. Vartamanu vartante manusya partha sarvasha. So Krishna says, I reciprocate according to the way one desires. So we desire, and accordingly, a body is given to us according to our karma. But that body that is given to us is governed by what? The material nature. We saw the purport, no? The purport for 33rd verse was what? The purport for 33rd verse was what? That the soul enters into the bodies of created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature. They are influenced. So our bodies are influenced by the modes of material nature. Prakriti kriyamanani, guna karmani, sarvasha. So there is guna and karma. These things are given by Prakriti, according to our own actions. Okay, it is not, and that is why it is mentioned in that purport that we are actually dependent on the Lord even when we want to enjoy. We are not independent. We are not independent. We are actually dependent on the Lord when we want to enjoy. We cannot be independent of Him. But He, as a friend, is always accompanying us. He, as a friend, is always accompanying us. Like uh, Upadrishtha no Hanumantacha. Upadrishta. Upadrishta means the one who is overseeing the things. जो सब कुछ देख रहा है. Anumanta means the one who is giving order. Okay. So we are giving order. We are having our desires. ये चाहिए, ये चाहिए. But it is overseen by the Lord. Okay. It is overseen by the Lord. So just like the child sometimes tells the father, "My dear father, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want to touch." Father says, "No, it is not all right. I want to touch." fire. Father says, no, don't touch. But then at the end, the child is adamant, I want to touch. Father says, okay, touch. And then when he touches, he gets burned. So we create our own fortune and misfortune. We create our own fortune and the Lord doesn't create it. Like, the magistrate, judge, you know, the judge, there are different people who come to him. Okay, case one, two, three, four, five, six. Suppose six people come to it, one by one, one by one. He gives a different judgment for him, different for him, different for him, different for him, different for him. But he is the same person. Okay, he gives judgments according to their actions, according to their actions. So similarly, the magistrate is not affected by the judgments that he is passing, or he is not the one who's creating misfortune for him and fortune for him. आपको मैंने जेल में डाल दिया 1 साल के लिए और आपको आपका जो लॉस एसेट था वो दे दिया, कुछ घूम गया था, कुछ प्रॉपर्टी सीज हो गया था, मैंने रिलीज करवा दिया. So it is not that the magistrate is creating misfortune and fortune for someone. It is according to one's own actions he is giving out sanctions or a judgment. So similarly, we are responsible for our own fortune and misfortune. That's why that verse also says yathamam prapadyante. So though the father doesn't want that the child should put hand in the fire, the father wants the child should listen to him. Similarly, Krishna also wants that we should listen to him. Okay, we should listen to him. Whatever he's saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also wants that we should listen to him, should surrender to him, should work according to the direction that he has given. But we want to go against his will. We want to go against his desire, and therefore we create our own fortune and misfortune. We create our own. That is the way. And according to that fortune, we get our bodies. According to our actions, we get the body, which helps us to. Because sometimes one may wonder that if the Paramatma is the same, परमात्मा आप में भी सेम है, मेरे में भी सेम है, आप में भी 400 विष्णु बैठा है, मेरे में भी 400 विष्णु बैठा है, सब में परमात्मा सेम है, तो सब लोग अलग अलग क्यों है? सब लोग अलग अलग क्यों है? Why people are different is because of this reason that we want to act differently. We have the desire to do things according to our own way, and because of that individual desire, the Lord is simply sanctioning. Is simply sanctioning it because we are insisting. हम insist करते हैं नहीं ऐसा होना चाहिए ऐसा. The Lord is sanctioning. So the body is like a tree, and within the tree there is a nest, right? पेड़ में nest होता है ना, वैसे body में भी there is a nest which is the heart. Nest में कौन होता है? Bird बैठा होता है. There is a bird sitting in the nest. Similarly, the soul is residing in the region of heart. But there are two birds in that nest. One bird is the one who is enjoying, and the other bird is the one who is Upadrishta, who is overseeing, who is looking, overseeing everything. You know, and whatever this bird is enjoying, Anumantacha, he is sanctioning according to the Prakriti, according to the material nature sanction, he is giving that away. Therefore, here this verse, there is a mention of Naneva Bhati Vishwa. Naneva means the one, but like different entities illuminates Vishwa, the Lord Paramatma. So basically, the Supreme Personality Lord had he appears to be acting differently. हमें ऐसा लगता है कि the Supreme Lord Paramatma is acting differently with different people, but actually it is not like that. Because of the different desires of the individuals, it appears that he is acting differently. Like the way we may think that the magistrate is acting differently with different kind of culprits. No, it is according to the acts of the culprits that the magistrate is giving out different judgments or orders. But the magistrate is indifferent. Magistrate is indifferent. So, uh, this is the proof of Paramatma and Jivatma. The difference between the living entity and the Supreme Lord. Like somebody is acting like a dog, somebody is acting like a hog, somebody is acting like a demigod. You know, Indra, Varuna, Chandra. These differences are there because the Lord being the same in everybody's heart, still we have individual choices. Still we have individual choices, and that is how uh, Naneva bhati vishwatma bhuteshu cha tatha pumam. That is given. That is why the example is given over here of what is the example given the purport of wood, fire being ignited in the wood. So the example is that example is given like yatha hi avahi vahini darashu. That line is mentioned over here. Yeah. यथा हि अवहि हो यथा हि अवहितो वहनीर दारुष्व एकस्व योनिषु. So in every wood there is fire. If you take a small wood also, it will ignite fire. If you take the big wood also, it will ignite fire. There is no difference. But the flames of fire, they appear to be different because of the sizes of the wood. A small flame of wood, small wood would give you a different flame, a little smaller flame. The bigger wood will give you. So this is the difference. The difference is due to the difference in the desires. The difference in the desire that a living entity has, and accordingly, in contact with the material nature, sattva, rajas, and tamas, these things come up. So there are three modes of material nature: sattva, rajas, and tamas. Three mixed with three is 3 into 3 is 9, and then again this 9 mixed with a combination of other 9 become makes it 81. That's why there are 84 lakh species, near about 84 lakh species of life. These are different qualities, combinations of material modes of nature. This is how the different combinations of material modes of nature works. Hence, uh, the Lord remains the same. So, I was hearing something regarding this thing, Paramatma, that it is not that the Lord is of three types. No, the Lord is one. It is seen by the same person in three different ways. The Lord is one, but three different people see the Lord in. Somebody sees it at Brahman, somebody sees at Paramatma, and someone sees at Bhagwan. Like a student of example is there in the Bhagavad Gita, a student who is studying the sun planet. One student may see the sun planet as just the ring, yellow ring. Another may see the sun planet beyond the yellow ring as the rays. And the third may actually see the sun planet as a place like the way this earth planet is. The topic is the same. Sun is not changing, whether you consider it as a ring, as rays, or as a planet. Sun is sun. So when the Lord is the same, it is just viewed in three different ways by different. So over here, the localized aspect of Paramatma is being discussed, and wherein he is within every living entity, he appears. So the Lord as Super Soul pervades all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties. That इस केस में है तो लॉर्ड इसके अंदर भगवान अलग है, इसके अंदर भगवान अलग है, ऐसा नहीं है. भगवान सबके अंदर सेम है. Only our distinction is there, our differentiation is there because of the desires that we have, because of the qualities that we have taken. Though he is the absolute one without a second, there is no second, there is just one, there is no second to it, there is just one. So many times people लोग कहते हैं कि सब एक ही है. You know, so that is a very, actually a very immature understanding, but uh, that's true that एक है मतलब the Lord is one, but the demigods cannot be compared to the Supreme Lord. वो एक नहीं है. They are living entities. You know? So वो वाले statement में it is little bit of ignorance. 33 and 34 mentions now a continuation of the super soul after it has been entering into each and every body, created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature. So according to that, we got our bodies and causes them to enjoy the effects of these modes by the subtle mind. So our mind has uh, desires to enjoy. So we can only function if there is sense enjoyment. What do you feel? Sense gratification. Senses, if our senses don't get engagement, we are inactive. We always want our senses to be engaged. When you're eating, you're also engaging your senses. When you're seeing something, you're engaging your senses. When you're touching something, you're engaging your senses. There's constant engagement of senses, and to engage those senses, we create different desires, and according to that, we our body is also formed. So it's very subtle. But ये कहाँ create हो रहा है? Mind, किसी किसी ब्यूटीफुल चीज को देखिए हमारा डिजायर होता है, बॉय और अ गर्ल, यार काश मेरा भी बॉडी ऐसा होता. बस वो क्रिएट हो गया डिजायर आपके दिमाग में. you know so it's a very important thing that we have to take care. Then in the last verse it is mentioned that how the Lord is actually the maintainer of everything, and it is not just in the human form of life that he appears, but he appears in different forms of life also, whether it's demigods, humans, men, animals, in different forms he appears. What is the reason for his appearance? For those people who are in the mode of goodness, to reclaim them, to bring them back. Like we hear about Gajendra achieving perfection, though he was in an animal, in a body of an elephant. Still, why? Because he was still in the mode of goodness. So while fighting with the crocodile, even though he had given up, he felt that he is completely going to be defeated. He was in the mode of goodness to pick up a lotus flower and start offering prayers to Vishnu. Hanuman, in the form of a body of a monkey, still he offers prayers to Lord Ram. So it is to reclaim those people who are in the mode of goodness. Reclaim. So we try our best, we try our level best to remain in this state of goodness. Especially this can be done when we perform uh, chanting, when we perform devotion. When we do that continuously, the heart is cleansed. Cheto darpana marjanam bhavaha nirvapanam. There is continuous cleansing of the heart happens only when you keep chanting. And when we keep continuously cleaning our heart, what happens? Automatically we rise up to the level of goodness. Otherwise, we are always in the process of भोक्ताराम, भोगना है, भोगते रहना है. You know, कहाँ मुझे मिलेगा? Where will I get a better place to sit? Better place to travel? Better place to eat? Better place to sleep? You know, like we are going to Kumbh Mela. As soon as you all go there, some of you all who are going to come, you all start finding a comfortable corner. Where will I get a better place to put my बिस्तर, nicely warm, थोड़ा इतना ठंडी में, तो bathroom भी बाहर है. Be ready, for the biggest adventure of your life. You will have open bathrooms, and under the moonlight you can bathe as well, and under the moonlight you can clear your stomach also, everything under the moonlight, because you get up in the morning now. If you don't get up in the morning, then under the sunlight. So be very exciting. Please come. I've already gone and seen some preparations, so I can just say that it's going to be adventurous. And amongst all this massive crowd that is going to come there, you have no option but to stay there only once you come. ऐसा नहीं कि मतलब कि आप एक इट्स लाइक आप अंधेरी में आ गए, अभी आपको अंधेरी से बोरीवली जाना है, आप स्टेशन में आकर ट्रेन पकड़ लो. इतना आसान नहीं है. आप अंधेरी में आ गए तो आपको अंधेरी में ही रहना है 15 दिन, ऐसा है, 10 दिन, एक हफ्ता. अगर आप एक बार कुंभ में घुस गए तो बस आपको कुंभ में ही रहना है. वहाँ से ना आप बाहर जा सकते हैं, ना आप अंदर आ सकते हैं. बाहर जाने के लिए एक बार बिस्तर उठा के जाओ, फिर आप वापस अंदर भी नहीं आ सकते. सो बी प्रिपेयर्ड. and it's going to be nice because there'll be so many devotees, so many people, and it's going to be a different environment. And so, where was I in this? Yeah, sattva and desire. That is also a place where so much of so many people will come. Those are in the mode of goodness, and that is how they come to these places and perform austerity. Otherwise, you cannot perform austerity without being in sattva gun. You require some level of goodness to perform austerity. To sleep on the floor or get up early in the morning in cold, take a bath. These things require some level of austerity. So that's very important. So we should not think that everything belongs to us. Okay? Everything is a property of the Supreme Lord. And if you think that everything belongs to us and I'm here to enjoy, then we are just behaving like a thief. And behaving like a thief will only help us to suffer, not to uh, be happy. So we should not. Actually, that's Vaishnava philosophy. Vaishnava philosophy means one understands that everything belongs to Krishna, and one just uses it or accepts whatever is needed as prashadam, mercy of the Lord. Doesn't exploit in any way. Okay, so we stop here. Any questions? Yes.
One example we saw that the Paramatma acts as the overseer, who just see the desires and activities of the jiva. So, but in one purport, we also read that Paramatma sanctions the material desires also. So he's also facilitating.
Yeah, over here also, sanctioning is there, no? Without sanctioning, it cannot happen.
He's facilitating material happiness also. So,
Yeah, because that is what we are desiring. Both happiness and distress, both he's sanctioning. Like sometimes people say, कि why the Lord is there, so why is he giving me distress? भगवान है तो मुझे नो क्यों पीड़ा दे रहे हैं मतलब भगवान नहीं है. The example is that only, that we are actually creating our fortune and misfortune. The Lord, like the child has been told by the father, don't do. But the child is insistent, नहीं करना है करना है करना है. Now we may think this is a child का example क्यों दे रहे हैं? But this is how we are also. You know, it is been told by the government that, like, some people want to drink, drunkards want to drink. So the law, government, drunkards want to drink. So they want. So the government provides a facility. What facility? Liquor shop. And the drunkard goes to the liquor shop and gets a liquor, and he drinks. But after drinking, if he does any activity that he is not supposed to do, especially after drinking, he is first arrested. But who created that situation? Himself. The government did not create that situation for him. The government is not saying all my citizens of Bharatvarsha should drink at least once in a day. ऐसा कुछ बोला है क्या? नहीं. He did. The person drank, and by drinking, then he was driving. He met with an accident. First thing he'll be done is arrested. So he created his misfortune. If a person wouldn't have drank, and like for example, I met another gentleman. He was old, and it so happened that he just crossed the toll, and after the toll he had a kind of a blank out, or maybe must have just took a eyes must have closed. So his car and went and hit the railing. just got saved. But he did not go through any kind of a criminal procedure because it was just an accident, in a normal state of mind. But had he drunken liquor, what they would have done? Who created the fortune and misfortune? Same situation, right? Accident. Somebody gets saved and somebody doesn't get. So we make our own choices. But then we say भगवान ने मुझे ऐसा दिया, भगवान ने क्यों मुझे दुख दिया, भगवान ने क्यों मेरा ये छीन लिया. The- You cannot tell ये judge ने ऐसा क्यों किया मेरे साथ. First you did it, then the judge is giving the sanction. So we have done the action. The Lord is just giving the sanction. That is why he is observing. Judge also observes the case, na? Then he gives judgment. Without observation, will he give judgment? No. I have a good experience of it now. So the Lord will observe the case. Sorry, मतलब the judge will observe the case. एक महीना, 2 महीना, 3 महीना, 4 महीना. और उसके बाद बोलेगा नहीं ये है ये है. ऐसा है. So that is why उपदेशतानु अनुमंतच. Krishna is observing whatever the desires the person is making, and then he's sanctioning as per the karma. कोटा भी तो होना चाहिए. I go to the Kotak bank and ask मेरे को 1 crore चाहिए, पर मेरे बैंक में 1 lakh है. कैसे देगा cashier? But if my bank has 10 crores and if I ask for 1 crore, the cashier will give. That is sanctioning. The system will sanction. So happiness and distress is coming to us only because of our own. But to get that happiness and distress also we need sanction. Because it is sanction doesn't mean that he is giving it. Sanction is happening to show that we are still dependent on him for even for this. To give us understanding of the position that we are actually not an independent personality. But if we try to behave independent, then we can create a mess for us. Being part and parcel, the part can be only good with the parcel, but if it tries to be away from the parcel and individually become part to parcel, तो वो नहीं हो पाएगा. So that we have to understand. So we are not even puppets, completely driven by him. There is a free will. But the free will decides us to gives us the liberty to decide whether this way or that way, right or left. And the Lord also gives knowledge ki whether you should choose right or left. Arjuna at the beginning of the battle was distressed because he was not with the will of the Lord. At the end of the battle, he was not distressed because he was with the will of the Lord. The same person who was a friend of the Lord could not understand in the beginning, but at the end of the conversation, he could understand. So that's the difference. He gave him the choice. My dear Arjuna, now you've heard everything. Now you decide what you should do. Similarly, the Lord has also given us the free will to decide. Then we cannot say कि मेरे को बोला नहीं किसी ने. हमने पूरा दिसंबर भगवत गीता बांटा. आपको ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता कि आप मेरे को तो मिला ही नहीं गीता. भगवान बोलेंगे इस्कॉन वाले इतने बार घूम रहे थे तुमने लिया ही नहीं. इतने इस्कॉन वाले घूम रहे थे, घर घर आके बांट रहे थे, हर घर गीता कर रहे थे. उन लोग सिग्नल पे बांट रहे थे, तुमने लिया नहीं. तुमने ये बहाना किया, वो बहाना किया. 2-3 साल तक तुम्हें संडे क्लास के लिए बोला, तुम आए ही नहीं. यात्रा के लिए बोला, फ्री यात्रा करवाया तुम्हारा, स्पॉन्सर्ड बाय इस्कॉन टेम्पल, तो भी नहीं आए. Then you cannot go and tell the Lord, you were biased with me. No, the opportunity was there. More than me, my devotees were kind on you. That's why Srila Prabhupada is considered as more merciful, or Jagat Guru, or even Nityananda Prabhu is considered more merciful than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he gave the opportunity even to Jagai and Madai to take up bhakti, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also was denying. That is why the devotee of the Lord is more merciful. When the devotees of the Lord want to go out of the way and create an opportunity, it is a blanket statement. Even if the devotee shouts at you or maybe insults you, the devotee of the Lord is still more merciful than anybody else in the world because he has given you Krishna consciousness, and that cannot be given by anyone. So इसलिए ये बहुत important है that we align ourselves with the plan of the Lord, or we make an attempt to start coming in line. If we know that this is the right path and I'm completely away from it, then we start making some efforts to come towards it slowly, gradually, slowly, gradually, slowly, gradually. And we do that. After coming there, also we should not have pride in us. मैं आ गया, बाकी तो रह गए. भाई में bye bye कर देंगे ऐसा है. It's not like that. We have to be, तिनादपि सुनिश्चनातरोरपि सहि समावानि न मानेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि. Always कीर्तनीय सदा हरि. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna. Sankirtan should go on. That's why Prabhupada at the end, to summarize the whole philosophy, he said, what? Chant and be happy. Things may not work out in our way. Enrollments in the temple may not happen according to the way we want. But at the end, the principle is chant and be happy. Because what you can do? You cannot do anything. Radha Rasbear is already standing there. Do you think he's not doing? It's our foolishness to think that he is not doing anything, or thinking that he cannot do anything. He can do everything, but it is everything is happening with the will of the Lord, and you have to go with the will of the Lord. Chant and be happy, because that is the principle. Tolerance. Two things I learned. I keep, keeps coming back to me is that only. One is tolerance. At the end, just chant and be happy. Tolerance. At the end, just chant and be happy. And then I heard my spiritual master also leaving, and his glorification I was hearing. I could just hear one thing about it: tolerance. That's it. Tolerance, tolerance, and tolerance. Kamalachan Prabhu asked him, till when to tolerate? Like, I'm tolerating since 50 years. So, lifelong, till the last breath, we have to just tolerate. And if we can tolerate, that is our victory. Tolerate and be amongst devotees, that is our victory. Because आप intolerant बन के भी क्या कर लोगे? You cannot do anything. Outside world में what can you do? Nothing you can do. Being intolerant, you try to make your own world and then you live in that illusion. मैंने बनाया है दुनिया, मैंने मेरा company बनाया, मैंने मेरे employees बनाया, मैंने मेरी गाड़ी खरीदी. That's an illusion. Illusion after illusion after illusion after illusion we are creating. That's it. That's not real. Is it real? Not real. You're not going to take your company back, your BMW back, and your wife back, and your employees back. You cannot take that. Illusion after illusion after illusion. What you can take back is only Krishna Bhakti. Only Krishna Bhakti can be taken back. So only these things will add to the credit. फाइनल जब बैलेंस शीट बनेगा तो उसमें से दिखाएगा टॉलरेंस 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 दैट वही दिखेगा सिर्फ. अगर वो दिखेगा तो देन इट्स लाइक the whole differentiating factor in the entire world. People are fighting. Why? Because of intolerance. Tolerance. And the most emphasized verse in the Shishtastakam is Tinadavi Sunicha. Don't expect any don't ex, don't expect any kind of respect, and give always respect. Yes, this is the golden rule. This is what is my thing. Just keep doing this. But to be tolerant, you have to keep sincerely chanting and reading and keep performing some service. You cannot get tolerance just by sitting in one room and thinking, I will gain tolerance. Somebody comes and slap me, I will not slap that person. It is by doing devotion. जब हम devotion करेंगे, भक्ति करेंगे, automatically when we do service, devotional service, tolerance will keep increasing. And devotional service should be anything that is given to you. Anything that is given to you. And to understand that and to understand more deeply this, we have to see the life of the great teachers. Like there are Prabhupada disciples, there are Srila Prabhupada himself. So many things. if you lead just the life of Srila Prabhupada, or if you lead the life of some of Srila Prabhupada disciples, even if they were big stalwarts in the entire movement, but they were always very, very tolerant. It's not that just because they were some GBC or they were some head of a temple, they would carry some power over them. Nobody can tell them anything. Even if somebody was told them something, they would always take it very humbly. This is the characteristic of a great leader. I saw this in I have heard this in many glorification programs of very very different Prabhupada disciples. They handle exceptional situations just by tolerating. So we have to see that. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Sorry? हाँ. Yeah. Yeah. अगर आपके जैसे मैंने बताया आपके बैंक में पैसा नहीं तो कैसे देगा बैंक? If you don't have money in the balance, you may desire that tomorrow I'll go and withdraw 10 crores. But you don't have money in the 10 crores in the bank. So how will you get it? Okay.
Prabhuji, I have personally seen that while tolerating, many times we get angry on that situation, and that result that become lost करते हैं, पूरा दबा देते हैं position में, या फिर जो image को हमारा खराब करते हैं. How to handle that anger?
Right. हाँ तो वही है ना, that is the principle. If you actually anger is my experience over anger has been that it is more to do with our own pride and ego. When our own pride and ego is not pacified, that turns into, but that if that is not met, it turns into anger. You know, and frustration to what we uh, want. That again, when we don't get that desire is not fulfilled, it turns out to be frustration and anger. And of course, as you rightly said, it spoils our image. It spoils our image. So what I have experienced is that I try to not react to a situation immediately. Suppose says something that is happening to against my suggestion or desire, I may not react to it immediately. I may take some time to think over it. Maybe I may have responded in an angry mood, uh, but when I take time to respond to it, the anger subsides. Because there is a contemplation that whether this is for me or this is for the Lord. If it's for the Lord, then my anger has to be spontaneous. You say Hanuman's anger was spontaneous for Ram or Sita. But if it's for me, then it is just self motivated, self inspired. And when on contemplation, if I realize that not much will change, or this is a plan, this is a desire of the Lord that this way it should happen, then there is no point in me reacting to it, because jada kuch, it is just going to spoil the situation rather than improving it. There has never been a situation where जब हम एंगर होते हैं, एंग्री होते हैं, and the situation becomes better. ऐसा होता है? कभी नहीं. आज तक रिकॉर्ड है, कभी कोई गुस्सा करता है, उससे कोई सिचुएशन अच्छा नहीं होता है. Like I keep sometimes getting angry with Vikas because he spends time with me, you know. But never does Vikas feel nice about it. हाँ प्रभु जी आज आपने गुस्सा किया, अच्छा लगा मेरे को. मेरा पूरी रात अच्छे से आज बहुत अच्छा नींद आया because मेरे को आपने गुस्सा किया. You know, never does it happen. But if I treat him in the bakery one day, pizza or anything, that will always go for a longer time. तो जी लास्ट फ्राइडे को मुझे याद है आपने लास्ट ईयर यही टाइम पे मुझे ट्रीट दिया था. मैराथन खत्म हुआ था, फिर हमने इतना ये किया था, फिर उसके बाद हमने, so that will always go. So point is that these things are very very important, that has to be worked upon, and they can come with us only when we actually work on our nature, slowly gradually, because Girish Prabhu, everything will not happen according to our desire, and the anger arises only when our desires are not fulfilled and there is frustration से ही anger arise होता है, because मुझे नहीं मिला जो करना था, मुझे जाना था यात्रा में, मुझे यात्रा में जाने नहीं मिला, बस अभी मैं ना संडे क्लास में आऊंगा ना मैं कोई सेवा करूंगा, बस मैं तो कर ही रहा हूँ ना, इतना सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ, मुझे मुझे ना बोल दिया नहीं आ सकते तुम, जगह नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं, maybe I'll go another time, I'll sit in temple and chant Hare Krishna. So because everything cannot happen according to our desire. Just imagine, Lord Ram was supposed to be made the king the next day. I was just preaching to myself few days back, and I was just took one situation from Lord Ram. Lord Ram was supposed to become the king. Tomorrow morning, he was supposed to take the oath as the king of the entire world. And just one night before, he's told, you cannot do that, you have to go to the forest. Not just for one day, not just for one day picnic, for 14 years. But Lord Ram, Valmiki says, there was not even a tinge of shokha, or there was no change in the expression on his face. Now, that is what is called as Maryada Purushottam. That is what we idealize. So, उसके सामने मेरा यात्रा नहीं जाना तो बहुत छोटी बात है. उसके सामने मेरा यात्रा में नहीं जाना तो बहुत ही तुच्छ बात है. It is very small thing. लॉर्ड राम को राजा बनने से ना बोल दिया था, तो मैं तो कौन से खेत की मूली हूँ? Who am I? Who am I? I'm actually no one. That's when we realize that we are actually no one. We are just very small and insignificant person. What is within my hand? I cannot go for the yatra, but I can actually chant Hare Krishna, sit in temple, and that yatra days I can come here, take a same holiday from the temple, from the office. 5 दिन यात्रा में जाने वाला था, 5 दिन नहीं गया, 5 दिन यहाँ पे आके मैं रोज I can chant, more read, sit in the library, I can do the same thing. ये मेरे हाथ में है. Okay. Sorry? How when we come to Krishna consciousness? हाँ हाँ. It's natural. It's very very natural. When we know certain things, as we progress in spiritual life, also we get positions, we get respect. लोग आके दंडवत करते हैं सामने वाला. Like अरे भाई गॉड मेरे को दंडवत कर रहा है. प्रभु जी, हम प्रभु से प्रभु जी बन जाते हैं. पीछे जी लग जाता है. So this is very natural. This happens. But we have to always remember that the Danvat, the prayers, the garlanding, the Prabhujis is not for me, but it is actually for my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, on whose behalf I'm just acting. Okay, I'm just representing. When I go out and speak, sometimes in a corporate, people show a lot of respect. वेलकम करते हैं, गार्डन देते हैं, मोमेंटो देते हैं, तुलसी पॉट देते हैं, बहुत कुछ देते हैं. But it is actually, I'm just representing Srila Prabhupada. That's it. Srila Prabhupada is the one who deserves all the respect and the thing, and I'm just an instrument. Like the way Arjuna thought that he is really a great warrior, but once Krishna left, he could not even protect the queens from the villagers. Right? That's when Arjuna realized that without Krishna, he is absolutely nothing. Similarly, we are nothing without the mercy of uh, the Guru and the Supreme Lord. We are actually nothing. And even if we are doing something special, suppose by the blessings of senior devotees, Guru, the Lord, we're able to do something big things, then also it is just only because of their blessings. It's not because of our own thing. Srila Prabhupada sitting on the Vyasasana also is saying that my Guru Maharaj has sent you all. You young boys and girls have been sent to you by my Guru Maharaj to assist me. He doesn't say, because I am the world Acharya, that is why you all have come here. He doesn't say like this. Though he is the world Acharya, he is the, you know, uh, you know, Jagat Guru, Vishwa Guru. If you go to Vrindavan, I've gone to Vrindavan this year 4 to 5 times, and every time I go to the Samadhi of Vrindavan, Prabhupada in Vrindavan, I always see now that Prabhupada, what you did, that the whole world is coming here and offering obeisances to you. The whole world is coming here and offering obeisances to Krishna and Balram. You are actually the Jagat Guru. You know, you went in 1977. In 2024, also people are coming and new boys are coming and they are offering obeisances to you. They are accepting you as the spiritual master. You are actually the Jagat Guru. So when we see this, but still he maintains such humility that he says that my Guru Maharaj has sent you all. He doesn't say that I am the, this and I'm this and I'm that. That's why he was asked once by the reporter, Swamiji, are you God? He said, no, I'm not God. I'm the servant of God. Then he says, no, I'm not even the servant of God. I'm the servant of the servant of the servant of God. Dasa Anudasa. So that is the humility that even the uh, founder Acharya of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness can maintain. What to speak about us? What pride can we carry? You know, what can we? मतलब हमने ऐसा क्या किया है कि हमने actually कुछ नहीं किया है. We have done absolutely nothing. We are just trying to assist or represent. Just represent. So even if you become the best book distributor, the best kirtanier, the best uh, preacher, the best fundraiser, the best manager, best Sankirtan leader. This is all because of the blessings of the Lord, one. And second thing is, we are just assisting uh, Srila Prabhupada in his mission, and there are people who have done much, much bigger things. Immediately, what we can do is read about people who have done much bigger things than us. Immediately, we understand that very well what is our position. Our position. If you feel that we are doing something great, just open Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada opened 108 temples. मैंने तो एक सेंटर तक नहीं चला पा रहा हूँ बेस का. We are not able to even run one center of the base. प्रभुपाद जी ने 108 मंदिर खोल दिए, वो भी जब मोबाइल नहीं था, टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं थी, तब कुछ नहीं था. प्रभुपाद जी ने 70 वॉल्यूम्स ऑफ बुक्स को ट्रांसलेट कर दिया. मैं एक बार भी भागवतम रीडिंग नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, या एक बार भी साली श्री प्रभुपाद की बुक्स अभी तक मैंने कंप्लीट नहीं की है. So what is my level? My level is actually nothing. So we don't have to consider ourselves also very, very hopeless cases. But at the same time, we don't have to be very, very proud that I'm a demigod in Manushya avatar and I'm here. Sometimes we think like that. As soon as we wear dhoti kurta tilak, we think, I'm a demigod. Building mein se nikalta hu, I'm a demigod. Everybody's looking at me. Everybody in the office, the relevant point is also looking at me as if I'm a demigod. But I'm not like that. I'm absolutely nothing. So we have to see this. It's natural to have this. That's why when we chant, we sincerely pray to the Lord, my dear Lord, please give me humility, and please make me do constant devotional service, so that I'm engaged in service. And because I'm engaged in service, I never my mind never thinks that yes, I'm doing it. I'm just engaged in service. A person who's engaged in service doesn't think that ये सब कुछ मैंने कर दिया है. He is constantly engaged. वो machine चलते जा रहा है, चलते जा रहा है, चलते जा रहा है, चलते जा रहा है. There is no time, and the life will go by, finish, death will come, end. What has happened? The whole life you've just done service. That's it. So that is what at least I do. Is just I keep myself busy, 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 busy. busy in the sense just engaged in some service, and that doesn't make me think that I can do anything different. Well, I have done something. It doesn't make me think that okay, I open my notepad and start thinking पिछले महीने में मैंने ये किया. Doesn't get me time to put down my achievements. That's it. So it's a very personal thing actually. We have to personally also introspect upon it. Every devotee has a personal way of going ahead. In if one is sincere, then one can actually introspect regularly. That 6 months ago I was chanting 16 rounds in the temple. 6 months ago I was chanting 4 rounds sitting in the temple hall. Then I started moving out. I did four rounds in the courtyard. Then I did 8 rounds during the day. Now after 6 months, should I still want to do that? Maybe I can do four with a 6 or 7 rounds sitting at one place. Little more rounds before I move out from my office, and just do 4 or 5 rounds when I'm there during the day traveling. That is progressing. Slowly, gradually, do all 16 rounds in the temple hall, and do nothing when I'm traveling, and maybe just hear some lectures. That is like progressing. Maybe slowly, gradually, do all 16 rounds as a hearing in the temple, and then decide job can we manage. There are people who are living by themselves, and my parents and my family also will live by themselves, and I can do much more for the Lord if I give my time. That's like progressing. Okay, that's like progressing. If you catch it what I'm saying, then that's like progressing. Okay, so we have to take our we have to take the call, and the Lord will reciprocate. Okay, any other questions?